Now, this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about a problem statement, or you could say a scenario. So this is our application that also was envisioned at the time of pandemic. So both the applications, WorkSpot and Rise, emerged out of the need on how do we transform remote working, how do we enable organizations to cope up with remote work and remote customer engagement scenarios. So Rise was primarily focused towards the external audience, which is your customers, your client support and client service scenarios. And it has evolved over the last 1 year, where we worked with so many customers around the region, where we did some very interesting implementations, learned about their requirements and tailored our solution to meet their unique requirements. So Rise was designed primarily to help the staff within an organization service the customers remotely, but Teams again being the hub for Rise as a solution. So in this case, what we will be demonstrating or showcasing to you today is basically a Teams and ACS interop scenario. So a lot of customers did mention that when you're using Teams on a mobile phone, you need to download the Teams mobile application. And unless you are a licensed user, it becomes a little cumbersome process to be able to access the meeting experience. Whereas as an organization, you would want your agents to be in full control of the meeting and to be able to track from a compliance and quality assurance purposes if your agent or your relationship manager or your staff who's using Teams as a channel, to be able to monitor the entire conversation which is happening with participants outside the organization. So Teams becomes very important from that perspective, that you want to track, and from a compliance perspective. So we brought in Azure Communication Services along with Teams using the interoperability feature. So with interoperability, we could connect on-demand calls. So as a customer, if I have a query, complaint, or a request, I would go onto the website, fill up a form, and I would be put in a queue on Microsoft Teams. And that's where we leverage the queuing feature, which has been developed by the Teams engineering group, and customize it further to be able to see the queues, the active calls, the ones who are waiting in the lobby, and the average wait time is calculated from there. So Mandar, if we can move forward, I'd like to show the team the various scenarios. So there are two scenarios here. We're mapping a client and a customer service agent. So the client basically fills up the form, attends a call via ACS. A bot notifies the customer service agent on Teams that your customer is waiting in the lobby. Once the CSA admits the customer into the Teams call, they carry out a session on Teams. Now, this session is recorded, auto-recorded for quality assurance and compliance purposes, a standard process in all organizations. Again, the recording can then be stored on-prem or on cloud, depending upon the preference and the security protocols of your organization. So then along with that comes a survey, which after the call has happened, a survey is sent to the client for them to provide feedback on their experience with the customer service agent to keep a track of the overall quality and the experience of the entire engagement. So if we move further, we can show a few screens and how this entire solution works. So the customer is going onto the website and requesting for a call. Again, fully customizable interface. Your brand guidelines can be applied here. Your design language, your flows can be implemented over here from a user experience, customer experience point of view. Once the customer fills up the form, and the form fields, again, you can make them mandatory. We also, for one of our implementations with our clients, we do a ID verification check. So we use OCR, where we have, let's say, the national IDs presented in front of the camera, and there's a liveliness check between the face of the person and the identity card to be able to verify the identity before the person checks into the session with the customer service agent. And then the customer is in the lobby. This lobby experience, again, can be fully customized. You can play music, like a hold music, like on IVR. You can also have a virtual agent in the lobby to answer your questions before you get in touch with an agent. You can have a video lobby experience where you can play video content, promotional content before the customer actually enters into a session with the agent. And once you've moved from the lobby, while you're waiting in the lobby, on the other side, the agent receives a notification that there's a customer connection request. They also get dialed in through the calling bot. The bot dials in the agent and connects the agent with the customer. And they both are in the call. So for the agent, they are on Microsoft Teams, but the customer is on a web browser. Now, this browser can be accessed through your mobile device or a desktop. You don't have to download an app as a customer. You simply click on the link and you're into the meeting, whereas the agent is on Teams. And then they can have a chat functionality. And this chat functionality also we've designed for our customers to make it omni-channel experience, where the customer can chat either through WhatsApp, through a web chat, through social media, and all of these chats get directed to the agent on Microsoft Teams. So the agent has a central incoming chat channel on Teams to be able to communicate with the customer. And once the call ends, the customer then rates the entire session and leaves a comment. Again, the rating experience can be again tailored. You can have your own form here. You can have your own message, your own card in order to rate the experience. And that rating is then tracked on an analytics dashboard with the customer service agent. So from a quality assurance point of view, we've come up with different kinds of dashboards, keeping in mind different organizational requirements. So here's a sample dashboard that we'd like to show you. So in this dashboard, you can actually see the quality trends around the calls that have been happening in the call center, total number of calls by a certain date range, what is the average meeting time, what is the average lobby wait time, what is the average customer rating, what is the drop-off in the lobby, and you can actually access the drop-off. So if the customer has dropped off and your agent was not able to attend to the customer, they can call back the customer through this interface itself. And from an agent availability point of view as well, there are features that we've added where you can, on a real time as a call center manager or as a customer service manager, you can see how your agents are available and how actively are they serving the customers. Again, you can go into the agent level view where you can see the overall call quality by the agent, the rating they receive with the customer. The manager also has the view to join anonymously a meeting to be able to see how the meeting is going. So if the meeting is going between a customer service agent and a customer, the manager can hop into the meeting and see how the meeting is going. If there are any quality issues, any concerns that the customer is raising, just to do a quality check on the overall service. Now, sorry, Manda, you're on mute.
Hello, there was a question on the chat. I'll amplify. So the customer can join this calls on the website from a mobile as well, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And there was another question where Mohammed Zahir has asked, will we be able to download the recording as I have to be in another? Oh, so that's for this particular one. But in our solution, you should be able to also download the recording in RISE as well. And you should be able to access the recordings from Teams dashboard. So from a customer level point of view, you'll be able to access these recording and customer records, as you can see. And you also see an audit trail when participants entered into the meeting at what time did they leave.
Yep.
Great.
And Ani, one question I had, like we have the call queue feature and you covered that. And some of our customers have used about the call queue feature for their customer service requirement. So this solution can be on top of that call queue feature, right? And
absolutely.
Draw and okay, great.
Absolutely.
Okay, and there is another question, Ani. Can the agent like forward the call to another agent in case he doesn't have a solution or he's not the right fit for the customer? So to answer the question.
Absolutely. And this is where this dashboard comes very handy as well at a later time for audit purposes. So for example, I joined a call with a customer and I'm not able to answer. So just like in Teams, you can dial in your colleague into a meeting. You will dial in your colleague from your team to join the meeting. And then when the report is generated for that meeting or that session, you can see an audit log of who joined at what time and who left at what time in the meeting.
Got it, Ani.